Hello guys, Mr. Fluffy Pants here, and today guys, another video, and today guys, I'm going to hear my top 10 favorite movies of 2021, or top 10 best of 2021, but basically, my favorite 10 movies I saw this year in order from, number 10 to number 1, definitely saw a lot more this year than I did in 2020, but, like I said, this list is just what I personally enjoyed the best, so, don't get, all mad if your favorite movie on here, or you think a movie on here should not be, because I can think of at least a few on here that people probably would not say is on the top 10 best of the year, but like I said, it's just what I enjoyed the most or whatnot. But with all that said, let's go and get to number 10. And at number 10, I have M. Night Shyamalan's movie for the year, Old, which, honestly, just from the trailers and everything, I thought was just such an interesting concept, and really got me interested. This is my first M. Night Shyamalan movie, and, I know his whole, thing about the twist and whatnot, but honestly, I really like the way he executed the twist and the mystery that's built throughout the movie, and some of the stuff in this movie is, pretty horrifying, I guess, just the thought of, because you age rapidly on this this beach or whatnot, and also the setting's just great for this kind of horror movie. Just, honestly, such a surprise, and, honestly, I'm really glad I saw it, because this movie definitely, I think it deserved a lot more, critical response than it did, because a lot of people were either just kind of meh, or it just kind of fell flat, but honestly, I really love this movie. And at number 9, we kind of have I guess a streaming movie, kind of, sort of, which is the Snyder Cut, which was released on HBO Max, but I actually did get it on Blu-ray recently, so that's why I'm also going to kind of count it for the list. But then again, last year I had some Netflix stuff on there, but basically the Snyder Cut just took, an absolutely, atrocious movie, the Justice League, as some people have called it now, from 2017, which was just, pretty much this movie just all cut up to hell, but this 4-hour behemoth just adds so much character and so much life, and this is the DC movie we should have got. Honestly, they should have just took this cut, split it into part 1 and part 2, released it in theater year after year. Solved the problem easily, because I know Warner Brothers wanted a cut down version or whatnot, because from my understanding, Zack Snyder only filmed an additional 15, 20-ish minutes to add into this movie. So basically, this movie was 4 hours pretty much done before they kicked him off and had Joss Whedon come in, just take a pair of scissors and just start cutting film, and just, threw film up there and start cutting it or whatnot. But, yeah, this movie just adds so much life. I love the stuff they add to Cyborg's character, and this honestly feels like the epic of what a Justice League movie should be. And at number 8, we have the Ryan Reynolds movie, Free Guy, which I was very excited for this movie when the first teaser trailer came out, and, it got delayed like a bunch of other movies, and, the hype kind of died down for this movie for me. I was like, I'm going to go see it no matter what. And honestly, this movie, it soared past my expectations. I just thought, this is going to be, a fun movie, and, whatnot, we're just kind of fun, but I'm not really going to think too much about it later, or not want to go back and rewatch it, but this movie is just so fun. The CGI in it's great. There's so many Easter eggs, and this movie's so funny, too. I love Ryan Reynolds' humor in this movie, which, yeah, this is definitely a big hit for him, and I guess Disney, hopefully get a Free Guy, too, but I even, enjoyed, the human storyline, outside of the game or whatnot, and, honestly, the whole concept of it is just great, and some of the stuff that they execute, the big final battle climax of the movie, and the resolution is just, honestly, so perfect. Honestly, this movie does not have the right being as good as it is, storyline and comedy and everything. This is, the perfect storm of, just comedic genius and action movie all rolled into one. I love this movie so much. At number 7, we have ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which, not gonna lie, this has definitely fell down a little bit from when I first saw it in the first time in the theater, because after multiple rewatches, in the theater and at home viewing, there's definitely a good, 20 minutes of this movie that just drags for me, and really is unfortunate, because it's right before the part of the big final battle, and after they get the tie low or whatnot, that just feels like it really does drag for me. But honestly, this movie's got some of the best action the MCU gave us. The buzz fight is absolutely amazing. I love that they brought back Travis Slattery, easily best, funniest part of the movie. And honestly, the big CGI dragon battle with the giant Soul Eater is honestly really amazing. It's so enjoyable, and the Ten Rings itself, the villain, the real life Mandarin, or Shang-Chi's father or whatnot, honestly, just just like some of the characters in this movie are just awesome. The action's awesome. Like, this movie really is enjoyable. Like I said, if it wasn't for like the 20 minutes dragging it, and then again, I watched it back in November, kind of off and on. Like, I was, kind of doing something else while I had playing it in the background. So maybe I sit down and watch it again. Like, maybe it'll go up a few spots. But as of right now, I got it at the number 7 spot. And at the number 6 spot, we have another movie that has no right being as good as it is, which is Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I was very hyped for this movie when it was first announced with that little teaser at the Ecto one in the barn or whatnot. And, I was also, a little apprehensive about it, a little nervous for it, but just after watching this movie absolutely delivers. I'm going to leave out the spoilers since it is kind of a more recent movie and it hasn't released on digital or whatnot yet, but, the way they're able to bring back some characters and stuff is just absolutely perfect. Like, the way they do it is just perfect. The new characters they introduced are just so good. The action throughout and the comedy and just the way the whole the setting of the movie and everything, this like creepy town Ohio, or is it Ohio? Something like that. It's just honestly awesome. I love like the climax or whatnot. This movie's honestly just great. Like, I love Paul Rudd and everything. Like, this movie's just so good. I really want to rewatch it. I've only seen it once, but I definitely want to rewatch it ASAP, let's just say. And at the number 5 spot, we got Nobody, which is honestly the kind of surprise hit of the year, I would say, in my opinion, because this is kind of the movie that kind of brought the whole box office roaring back to, not really roaring back to life, but it definitely, like, awakened the box office again, because this came out, like, late March, and got the box office, warmed up for Godzilla vs. Kong, which, really did open up the box office or whatnot, but this was also the first movie I saw this year, after, like, a long break of not seeing movies in theaters since, like, February of 2020, so, that was a nice little refresher or whatnot, but this movie, I just went to it because my father said, it looks good or whatnot, and he was like, yeah, it's kind of like John Wick. Didn't really see each other, just went into it, and we just say such a surprise. Like, that's definitely how I would say this movie sold to a lot of people, is it's kind of like John Wick, but, Bob Odenkirk, which, he's a great actor, but honestly, I kind of have to say, I kind of like the idea and, like, the whole backstory for, Mr. Nobody in the movie a little bit more than John Wick. Like, there's this one scene in the movie where, like, there's, like, this biker getting a tattoo or whatnot. He sees Bob Odenkirk's tattoo or whatnot, and just, like, goes out and, like, locks all the doors. He's like, shit, that guy's, like, for real or what, like, because he's legitimately scared of him, which I just love. And, the action in this movie is great. The villain's, like, a little over the top, for say, let's just say eccentric too, but and then the whole third act turns into like rated R Home Alone, which is also awesome. I love Christopher Lloyd and whatnot. This movie's just so great. Like, another great bus fight of the year. This and ShangChi's probably got the best bus fights of all time, but just the brutality of this movie too. Like, I just love how the tagline of the movie, never underestimate a nobody. Like, this movie's just so great, and I love the action so much. Please give us a Nobody 2. I don't think it's been announced yet, but please give us Nobody 2. And the most recent movie on this list, which is Spider-Man No Way Home, which I did put up a full review if you guys want to go check that out. I'm not going to put spoilers in here because I'm sure there's definitely some people that haven't seen it yet, but Spider-Man No Way Home is definitely the most, not perfect, but it's definitely the best Spider-Man live-action movie we've seen, which before this, Far From Home was my favorite, but I gotta say, there's just no beating this. Like, this movie's just so awesome. You enjoy the entire 2.5 hours of this movie, yes. The villains are great, bringing back past villains from the Sam Raimi movies and the Amazing Spider-Man movies, like Doc Ock and Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is just absolutely terrifying. Tom Holland really comes into his own in this movie. And then also that ending is just probably one of the most perfect comic book superhero movie endings I've ever seen. There's also some other returning characters which I won't spoil, but they're just great in here. Like I said, all the villains, the action's just great. Like I said, that ending's just absolutely perfect. Like, I love the absolute journey. Definitely with this movie, you can tell that they kind of did see like the whole journey of Spider-Man in the Home trilogy or whatnot, which I really appreciate. And Doctor Strange is a great supporting character, superhero in here or whatnot, but yeah, this movie is just absolutely amazing, for say. And at the number 3 space, we have The Suicide Squad, which is definitely up there as one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, up there with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which is actually by the same director, James Gunn, and Aquaman, I would probably say too. But this movie is just honestly probably one of the biggest impacts on just like I guess like on my like age group, because like this movie came out right before I went back to before I went to college, and like just everybody at college was just talking about this movie, talking about how great it was. They watched it on HBO Max over and over. I can honestly say I probably watched this movie like a good like probably like 10 times now. Like this movie's just absolutely great. I bought the steelbook for it and everything first day, and I just absolutely love this movie. I love the soundtrack, which please let us get a CD release of that, please. I know we got a vinyl or whatnot, or I don't know. I just really love the soundtrack too, but it's everything in this movie. You know, we're getting the spin-off Peacemaker in next month, or it'll probably be January by the time this goes up anyway. But I am pretty excited for that because that show actually does look pretty surprisingly good, I have to say. But you know, this movie, the third act was Star the Conqueror. It's just amazing. This is literally like a comic book movie brought to life, and I love it so much. It's hilarious, rated R, which I'm really glad it is. And so you got some heart in there with like King Shark or whatnot, and Rick Flag, and Polka Dot Man is just absolutely one of my favorite characters in DC of all time now. Like, I just love him so much, but I'm also glad Pete Davidson got like a brief appearance here. He's literally the first one to die in the movie within like the first 30 seconds or whatnot. But like I said, I absolutely adore this movie. Okay, and at the number 2 spot, I know this is going to be very, very controversial, but I've got Eternals, which honestly is probably one of my favorite MCU movies of all time. Like, I absolutely love this movie and adore it. Like, I really do not see where all the hate comes from. I just feel like a lot of the hate is from like a lot of the hardcore, like, don't change the formula kind of Marvel fans, and I love this movie because it changed the formula, and I do feel like it would have been more critically accepted if it was told chronologically, and I do feel like that is kind of a hindrance of the movie, how it's told non-chronologically. But for me, I can definitely see, because some people claim it was hard to follow, but for me it wasn't hard to follow, but I can definitely see where that confusion comes from. But some people say it's overstacked or whatnot, but honestly, like, I love a lot of the characters in here. Every character got their moment to shine. There's only like one I thought was stupid, but that's for debate for another day, because I'm sure some people don't want to be spoiling this movie, because I'm honestly excited to watch it again when it comes out on Disney Plus the 12th of January, I believe. But the third act, I honestly really did love. I really did feel the epicness of it, and a lot of stuff's just staying around, talking around, which I heard complaints about. But honestly, like, that's usually like the best character moments. Like Droog, kind of the he can like mind control people or whatnot. He's probably one of my favorite. Him and Fastos, which I definitely think both of them get a really nice arc. And like I said, this movie is just honestly like something really different, and like I can really appreciate that. Like, I really do not see where this gets so much hate for, and I really hope we do get an Eternals 2 or some kind of sequel or follow up, especially with that ending. Like, please, Marvel, just give us something. Like, I don't know if they will, because I'm pretty sure it did pretty well at the box office, but I'm not sure about that, because, I don't know, Shang-Chi, for what it accomplished at the box office, it did pretty well, just not for a Marvel movie, but that's getting a sequel, but hopefully Eternals will too. At least that's what I'm hoping, but, yeah, I really did love Eternals this year. And for my number 1 best movie of the year, in my opinion, I'm sure if you watched my channel for a little bit or even seen a few of my videos, you probably saw this coming, but we got Halloween Kills, which is the 2021 sequel to Halloween 2018, which was also the sequel to Halloween 1978, and, Halloween's probably my favorite slasher franchise. Scream's right behind there, though, but, which I'm really excited for the new one. That'll probably be on my most anticipated of 2022 list, but Halloween Kills is, like, the perfect sequel of what I wanted. When the reviews came out, they were kind of negative or whatnot, but this movie is such a great companion piece to Halloween 2018. I definitely think they're definitely very different films, because, this is definitely a middle chapter in a trilogy, which I'm excited for Halloween Ends. Hopefully that still comes out in 2022 and not get delayed, because, they haven't even filmed that yet or whatnot, and that's just to come out, like, in, like, about 10 months or so. But, this movie, it's just everything I wanted to. It's just a bloody fest. You get returning characters or whatnot. I love the whole, the town, like, kind of rioting, and, like, Evil Dies Tonight with Michael Myers and whatnot. And Michael Myers is just an absolute beast. His burnt mask or whatnot is just, awesome. He's so intimidating in this movie. So intimidating. The score is absolutely epic. And, the ending, I definitely think is controversial. I know a lot of people, did not like a certain character that dies at the end, but, a lot of people thought, like, the ending, like, was just a little off or whatnot, which I definitely think it is setting up for Halloween ends or whatnot, but I'm excited for the Blu-ray because it has an extended edition with an alternate ending, so I'm definitely excited to see that, and, I love the whole beatdown on Michael at the end with the score. It's just absolutely awesome. Like, honestly, like, I love this movie. Like, this movie, honestly, I'd say is a little bit more enjoyable for me than 2018 because, this definitely has more killing or whatnot and is not as story or character focused, which, is a good and a bad thing, but I definitely feel like as a companion piece, like, this movie enhances 2018 and 2018 definitely enhances this movie, but, yeah, that's my number one favorite movie of the year. But anyway, guys, that was my top 10 favorite movies of the year of 2021. Make sure you guys leave your list of your top 10 down below. Like I said, Halloween Kills, that was kind of obviously my favorite, but also look out for my video on my, my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2022. That should be very interesting because, like I said, we also got some, pushbacks or whatnot, but some really exciting releases next year. Like, next year is probably going to be one of the biggest, like, movie years, like, of all time, in my opinion, which 2021 was also, too, just for, like, the backload of movies from 2020, but it's definitely gonna be interesting, and I'm really excited to see y'all's list down below. But anyway, guys, check out my Twitter down in the description. Like and subscribe for more. Check out some other videos, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.